Angelo. When you learn, teach, and when you get, give.
Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. I'm your host, Verdel Jones. And being an educator at heart, I'm dedicated to sharing conversations that inform and enlighten in the hopes that you learn something you may not have known. We are live here at Paradise Studios. Shout out to Bobby, Strong Island Television Network. I'm so excited that I am in this place. You know, they say God either gives you a lesson or a blessing. And being here is a definite blessing. A lot of exciting things going on. So I'm very fortunate to be here live at Paradise Studios. Before we get started, we're going to have a great show today, but I want to make sure that I thank some great people. I want to thank Sage and Angie, that's Sajine Pierre Charles. She provided this lovely outfit that I am wearing. And also I would like to thank Melrose Corley. She provided the jewelry, the accessories that I'm wearing for the show. So I want to make sure that I thank them. I also want to give a shout out to Nancy Vargas. She is a realtor in the Long Island area. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, she is your girl or a woman. And if, she can also help you if you want to relocate as well. So you can check her out. We also have Conversations with Verdel Jones mugs. So if you want to be part of the conversation, get your Conversations with Verdel Jones mugs today on my website at verdeljones.com. One of the things that I always like to talk about is our upcoming event, our Poetry Slam Scholarship. We are offering scholarships to students who are going to college in the fall. Last year, we awarded $3,250 to 3 outstanding students, and we're doing it again this year. So check that out. If you know any seniors graduating this year, planning on going to college, who have a flair for the spoken word, please make sure you let them know about this. This is April 15th, 2019 is the actual deadline. The event is going to be June 8th. Just in keeping in the same lane with that, we also have sponsorship opportunities available to support the event and our students. We want to try to give them more than $3,250. So make sure you check that out. So those are just a couple announcements, a couple of things that I want to see. I'm back. You can see that I have my lovely accessories, and this jumpsuit is on point. And I was going to do a spin, so you see, it is really nice. So I want to thank Sajine and Melrose again. Awesome stuff. So let's get right into the week in review. I have had a busy week, busy couple of weeks. I think a couple of weeks since I've been last on the show. So one of the things that I participated in I attended was an event that was sponsored by the Urban League of Long Island. And it was about the history or the state of education or Black education on Long Island. And one of the things that we did was we were able to watch a documentary. And the documentary was called Tell Them We Are Rising. And it was the story of Black colleges and universities. But it was more than that because it kind of gave you some insight on how, historically Black colleges got started. It really went into the history of education for Black Americans. And it's really, watching it, I had so many emotions about it, because one of the things they talked about was how when we were enslaved, our ancestors, they weren't allowed to read. They weren't allowed to be taught. And if someone taught them, if a white person taught them, they could be fined, put in jail, or worse. And that just goes to show you how important education is. And for people to take for granted education, to me, is a crime, because the history was so fascinating. So if you have an opportunity to watch Tell Them We Are Rising, you have to check it out. It was great. I also had the opportunity to go to an event that Minority Millennials and Long Island Urban League sponsored, and it was about the being a Suffolk County police officer and taking the test. It was a great panel discussion. There was some officers there as well. It was just very enlightening. So, check out minority millennials. They always have some great events going on. We also went to the African American in Cinema. They kicked off their film festival, so we got to go there, and that was a great experience as well. We are planning our trip to Florida. We have about 29 folks. We rented a house, so our family is going to Florida, and we're excited about that. So that's really, we've been gearing up for that, attending events, reaching out to our community, so a lot of things going on. So like I said, we have an awesome show. We're going to be talking today about taking care of you, from looking good to discussing the impact autism has on families. April is Autism Awareness Month, and I do have a lovely pen that I was provided by our next guest. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have our first guest. Hi, welcome back to Conversations with Verdel Jones. As you see, we have our first guest here, Lucina Clark. She is the co-founder and executive director of My Time Inc. So I want to welcome you to Conversations with Verdel Jones.
Thank you, Verdel. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yes, and thank you so much for my pen. This is great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So April is Autism Awareness Month, and when I went on your website and I saw all the great things that you're doing, I am so happy that you're here, especially for this month, to talk about how you help parents that have autistic children. But I want to first start off by asking you, why did you decide to start My Life Inc., and how long have you been incorporated?
We started, my husband and I are co-founders.
Oh, okay.
We started My Time Inc. about 12 years ago.
Wow.
It became from a passion of my teaching. My background is in education.
Okay.
And while
Mine too.
doing this, oh, wonderful. While doing this, I met this amazing family, this amazing mom who has a young man who is diagnosed with autism.
Right.
And she had a daughter as well. But my connection, I felt when I'm teaching a child, I need to connect with the whole family.
Yeah.
I believe in a holistic approach of teaching.
Yeah.
Because if I'm teaching your child, I need to understand that you are understanding what I'm doing with your child when he or she receives that service. While doing this, I saw the struggle, the challenges of this parent.
Right.
And this parent was very ill. And she always said to me, Lucina, you will be my advocate, you'll be our eyes, you'll be in Washington, you'll be in Albany. And she was telling me all these things, prophesizing my life in such an amazing way.
Right.
So 1 month I was doing some work, and I saw mom wasn't looking well. I said to her, are you okay? And it becomes very emotional for me at this point. Yeah. I got home from working with her son, And as soon as I got home, I got a phone call that mom had passed away.
Wow.
And when that occurred, I just told my husband I need to do something, because I worked in so many homes, and what I was seeing in the different homes, in the different cultures, was that support piece, but I wasn't seeing it within our community and our homes, because I'm from the Caribbean.
Okay.
This is not a discussion to talk about when
Right.
my child
Right.
has a disability
That's
or
right.
differences. It's a very hard topic.
It is.
And by doing this, I told my husband, I need to create a place where parents can come and feel supported.
Wow.
It's about the parent. I always felt the child is entitled to all the benefits because
Right.
he or she has a difference. But who is taking care of the
Of
parents?
the parents. That is amazing. God
Thank
bless you.
you.
That's beautiful.
I love it. That was my calling. I'll say this is my calling
I love
and my
it.
purpose.
I love it. So if you can explain to our viewers what autism actually is, because you do hear the term, often, and there's different, and I know, there's Asperger's that was taken out of the DSM-5.
Yes.
I don't know why, but what is autism?
Autism is a neurological disorder. It affects the children's communication and social behaviors.
Right.
Because when you look at a child who has a difference or who has autism, these children are intrinsically very intelligent.
Yes.
They are so smart human beings. They are so creative.
Right.
They are musically inclined. They are artistic.
Yes.
They bring you joy.
Yes.
You have to be in the presence of these individuals to see the amazing awesomeness in each of these children.
So true.
So it's a neurological disorder that affects the communication and social, innuendos, because they don't really get it sometimes. Like when we
Right.
make little idioms like when pigs fly or these little crazy things we say something, they look at you like what are you talking about?
Very literal.
Right.
Right.
And for the Asperger's, what happened? I know there was some talk about the Asperger's, or could be called Aspies. They didn't want to be in that same
Oh, in that same category.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because
okay.
they felt they are able to be more vocal.
Right.
They are more verbal, and they can be more self-advocates
Yeah.
in describing who they are. So it's like I'm saying to you, do not label me. Do not put me in a separate bucket. I
Right.
want to be who I am.
Yeah.
And so I think also even with autism now, the percentage is 1 in 56 or 55.
Wow.
And boys is 1 in about 26.
More, right? Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing where mostly more boys or males are affected by this
Affected by
disorder.
it, right.
Yeah.
So how is it diagnosed? Because, and the interesting thing is, and I'm happy you're here to give the education about, autistic children in general,
But
because
we use the phrase children with autism.
children with
Yes.
autism instead of
Yes.
autistic children.
Yes.
Right. I will do that.
Thank
Children
you.
with autism. So when you see, a child with autism, and you might not know, like people, they don't know. They just say, oh, this child is acting out or
Right.
misbehaving or what have you. How is a parent to know that their child might have autism?
One of the things we say, I would say as a mother, we have this instinct within us
Right.
that sometimes are we aware of it, or are we really utilizing this instinct that we have? Because if your baby, when you're having a baby, no one thinks about having a child with a difference or with autism or anything. But when that baby is born, when you start noticing signs, you're noticing things within the child. For example, between 0 and 3 is very critical. That's where children receive early intervention. In that part of looking at the early developmental stages of our children, is that child giving you eye contact? Is that child pointing, which is joint reference? Is that child pulling you or requesting from you? What type of language is this child? Is this child nonverbal?
Right.
Are they just touching you, or are they just holding your hand and guiding you? So there's so many different cues. But I always tell people, one of the things they always say, the eye contact. Not always. Some of these children, they do look at you. Then also in some places, a child may go to a daycare, and this child may stay by a corner by his or herself and playing with a certain cup or toy, or
Right.
spinning the wheel, or doing something which is quite unusual. And one of the things I tell the parents, we have to be observant.
Right.
Even me being a applied behavior analysis therapist, there are things in observing. As human beings, that's one of our pluses and our skills, to be observant.
Right.
And as a parent, observing the different way the child is responding to characteristics of their behavior, you will see, and some of you know, say, well, why isn't he looking at me or smiling at me
Right.
or not even acknowledging me? Something is wrong. And we tell the parents, see your pediatrician. Also, there are so much issues right now with pediatricians not even being aware or knowing how to properly diagnose or see
Right.
a child with autism.
Right.
I always tell a parent, if you go on this pediatrician telling you, oh, he'll talk later, he'll
be
grow out of
fine.
it, you're a very smart person,
Right.
call someone else. Find another pediatrician who is able to evaluate your child properly. You may use a neurologist
Yeah, I was
or a
gonna ask that.
psychologist
Okay.
to do an evaluation,
Right.
a total evaluation. After 3 to 5, the kids are in preschool. You can look again at the stage of development and what a child should be doing at that age, or how he or she should be functioning.
Or interacting
Or
with the
interacting
peers,
with the peers.
Or even the parent.
Even the parent,
Right,
because
exactly.
sometimes kids with autism tend to cling to not their peers, but to the adults.
Yeah.
Because you're safe.
Very true. Very
You're
true.
safe. You know, kids can be not nice sometimes, you
Yeah.
know, and sometimes I think the fear of being called out is really not comfortable for some.
Right, absolutely. So how does My Time Inc. help? How do you help parents? What do
Oh
you
my
do
gosh.
for parents?
I just, no, you got me started.
I got you
now.
started.
I am like so in love with my parents, you know. What I saw in my parents, I felt that, you know what, they need to be supported.
Right.
Also, too, a parent need to be educated. When you sit at these IEP meetings, IEP means individualized educational plans, which is like the Bible, a legal document
Right.
to provide services for your child with a difference, with disability, with autism, or
Or
whatever
any other disability,
disabilities.
right.
We educate the parent to understand these terminologies. So when you sit at a meeting, you know what you're
know.
talking
That-
about.
And that is so important because you have to be educated in this
Yes.
information because they will. I'm an educator as well, and you know we would go to meetings, and my husband was happy that I was because they'll throw out these acronyms that nobody would know what these things are.
Right.
So that's great that you help them with
So
that.
that's
kind
the
of
part
thing.
of doing education. We do advocacy as well, where I have an advocate, amazing woman
Okay.
I work with, that we literally go to the meetings
You
with
go
the
to the IP
parents
meeting,
to make sure that when you're sitting there, because you may have a meeting and someone said he needs OT. The parent's like, what is OT?
Right.
Explain what is
Right.
occupational therapy.
Right.
He may need PT, which is physical
Which
therapy.
is different, right.
Allow the parents to understand what these terminologies are about, because a parent may confuse physical therapy to occupational therapy.
Right.
Occupational therapy helps with the defined motor skills. The physical therapy is gross motor skills with the
motor
body.
skills,
So they
right.
can understand, especially when a child is diagnosed with autism, speech and language is most vital.
Right.
That is the child's communication. And what they tend to do, giving the children this limited amount of speech and language.
Right,
And
right.
parents have to know how to advocate.
How to advocate, how to navigate that system too.
that system. And because that
because
system,
it's not easy.
It's very challenging.
It's very challenging, and you know if they're not armed with that education,
It loses everything.
Exactly.
And then another part of our program is the behavior therapy or behavior modification classes that we do. But one of my favorite one of the programs I have is the Me Time program, all about me. It's a recreational and social program for the parents. You know, sometimes the women tend to lose the diva in themselves. No, we're gonna get it right back into their
Get our
honey.
diva back.
Yes, we're gonna get our diva back. Even for the men, I call my men divos. We're gonna get it back. You know, and it's so
You have to,
amazing.
right, you have to.
So the Me Time program is where when I presented this program to the state, it's like, oh, this is. I said, no, we need to do something different.
Right.
We need to inspire. We need to enlighten. We need to ignite the passion back in these parents.
Right.
I mean, some of our couples, the rate of divorce right now within the household of a child with autism is unbelievable.
More
you know,
than
the
half.
stresses,
More than the norm.
Yes,
Yeah.
more than the norm. The stresses that these families go through, the blaming game they go through. Your family is the one. No, it's your family. So we gotta make
Right,
sure
that's your side.
That's your side of the family. So we make sure that we know there's no division, because when you're in this situation, you have to be on the same page. Because the child, people think sometimes that these children doesn't really understand what's going on in the home.
Right.
The same thing I tell the parents, your effect in the morning, how you deal with your child affects your child's whole
The
day.
whole day, right?
Because if you
exactly.
get up all unprepared, all de-energized, not fill of the energy and the joy in being there and taking care. Because I know there are challenges, but I always tell the parents, if you stop breathing, there's nothing. You need to stop sometimes and feel your breath. How does it feel when you take that breath in? And you have to know, if your child is going to school at 7, you can't get up 5 to 7.
Right.
You have to prepare.
Right.
So the Me Time program allow these parents through social emotional classes. I have an amazing gentleman that talks about social emotional wellness. And to see these parents come and I tell, you know what, it's not therapy. It's about us being BFFs and best friends talking.
Yes.
And they're sharing their deepest concerns, their wonderful joys and amazement of raising the children. They have challenges, but we can put that sense of comfort and competence, because sometimes our parents feel that we are not competent enough to do this because of all the struggles.
It's very challenging.
But
It
my
is
Me
very
Time
challenging.
program,
I
oh
love
my
that.
gosh, we take them out to movies, we go to the spa, we take many trips, we do amazing things. Parents develop new relationships.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
had
Support
we had a
systems.
parent they both of them went on a cruise together.
Oh, no.
This woman was like, I got my Stella groove back.
Right.
It was so amazing.
Right, exactly.
Because we need to instill in our families, and especially in our women, because we are such a superwoman.
Superwomen,
But
givers,
sometimes
all of that.
superwoman fall down,
That's
you know.
right, that's
And when
right.
she falls down, what happened?
Yeah.
So that is why I enjoy doing what I do. I love it because I see the growth in these women being so amazing, awesome, and fabulous.
Right, right. So I know you host events, and you do have an event coming up.
Oh, yes.
It's the Breakfast with the Chefs.
Yes.
So we want to show a little bit of information about that. Tell us about what that is, and also after that, I want you to let people know how they can get involved, or if they know someone who needs this resource, what they can do. So tell us a little bit about the Breakfast with the Chefs.
Well, the Breakfast with the Chefs is really a community event, because you know what? We do a lot of community events and allowing parents, even the community, other people, to connect with other families with children with autism. It's a community breakfast where people come together, they share, they celebrate the lives of these children. They honor the parents who have children with autism. My cousin is a chef at the Ritz-Carlton. He and 3 other friends. And then my daughter's girlfriend, she is a chef also. And they give up their time every single year to prepare an amazing Ritz-Carlton type breakfast. With omelette station, you name it. You walk into the Ritz.
Right.
But it is so amazing, and the love to see these families. You will never know there's a child with autism in the group. The camaraderie, the love, the joy that is shared by the community's acceptance and embracing. It's amazing. So it's April 7th. At 11 a.m. It's in Canarsie. It's at the Bayview Community Center. It's 5955 Shore Parkway. You can contact us at 917-933-9875 or go on our website. It's www.mytimeinc.org, and you can see amazing things about our program as well.
Yeah. So we do have your contact information.
Yes.
So we will be showing that. Do you have any volunteers that work with you, and how can people call that number to volunteer as well?
Yes, they can. Right now, amazingly, we have a very small agency. You ever heard the story of Nevis lay in bed with a mosquito? Because it buzzes in your head, it annoys you. So we are like that. I always make sure that we have people involved. The community can involve. We have a walk in June, where we have a lot of volunteers from the school, teachers, volunteers from around the community. Even for the breakfast, we have the explorers from my community. We have the Leo Lions that are involved. So we have a lot of community involvement. So if you want to volunteer, you want to spend your time, even if you want to donate to a wonderful cause. Because sometimes, I tell people, you don't have to donate a lot. I mean, in our program, even to go bowling, it can be $20 that goes to the parent to go bowling. So just look into your hearts and do these things. Support is so important.
Well, I want to thank you for being a guest. Great information. I love the work that you're doing. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have our next guest. Thank you so much.
Oh, honey, I love this. This is amazing.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
You're so wonderful.
Thank you.
It's such a nice feel.
Welcome back to Conversations with Verdel Jones. As you see, I have my next guest here, Sajine Pierre Charles. She's the owner of Sage and Angie Boutique. And let me tell you, it is a beautiful boutique. And as I said in the beginning of the show, I am wearing one of her outfits. So this is the woman who provided me with the outfit from last show also. So I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
And looking gorgeous as always. So this show we're talking about taking care of you, and one of the things that is so important for women to take care of themselves, or anybody to take care of themselves, is how they look and how they feel with whatever it is that they're wearing. So you own a boutique in West Hempstead. West Hempstead.
That's correct, yes.
What made you want to own your own boutique, and how did you get this love of fashion?
I've been in retail for about 20 years, and I just fell in love with it and never left. Even after I got my degree in accounting, I just never left.
You couldn't even walk away from it.
No, I love fashion too much.
Right. And retail is, to me, retail is grueling. I mean, because any business you open is going to be grueling.
Absolutely.
But it's that, it's not, you're not free on the weekends.
No.
Evenings. It's an intense business.
It really is, but you know what? If you love it, it's just like,
it's not work, right?
I remember when I first started, I went, I think probably like 4 months straight without a day off.
Wow.
And I that's obviously the most I've ever worked.
Right.
But it just every day
feel
felt
like
like it was just like,
That's awesome.
living a dream.
Yeah, and it shows.
Thanks.
It shows in what your boutique looks like, the events that you have, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. What kind of research did you do to open up a boutique? Because one of the things I also want to share with people is, if they want to get into the retail business, the work that it takes on the back end to make it look good on the front end. So what kind of research do you have to do?
Well, first, I'll encourage anybody that want to start up a business to try to do it within their line of work, because even as an expert, you will be thrown over, off guard if it's not what you know and what you love. So let's just make that
that's
clear, because
interesting.
I've gotten a lot of people asking me, oh my God, this is, I want to open up a store. How do I do that? And I said, okay, what's your background? They're like, oh, I'm a nurse. I'm like, oh. Not that you're not smart enough, but if you're going to do that, make sure that you're going to hire an expert, pay an expert to do it for you. Because like I said, even if it's your line of work, starting up a business, it's the most difficult thing that you'll ever do.
Right.
Because it's just so many different things, that many hats you have to wear. And in the beginning, when you're just starting, you are not going to have the capital to hire all these different people to do the work for you. So if you have no clue, good luck.
Right, because you had a background. And I remember we had talked a while ago, and you were talking about, the location. Because the location is really, really, obviously in retail, your location is so important. How do you go about finding, and that goes into your background. You have that experience. So how did you do that part of it?
I actually went into about 70 boutiques before.
70.
Yes, and I have been in retail by that time for about 20 years.
Right.
So that just goes to show you that I didn't take anything for granted. And I am so happy I did, because it's a whole different world when you are in that end of it versus when you're just working for somebody that already have a business that has a structure. All you have to do is run it.
That's right.
Versus here, you have to make it happen.
You have the accounting background, which is great. But
But location, I think nowadays, because of the internet, because back in the day, location used to be so important because you needed to be seen to know you exist.
Right.
Now, because of the internet, you don't have, location is not the ideal. It's the connection you're going to make with people that are going to refer you, and they'll go out of their way to come to your store.
Right. You share with me one of the events that you have is a modest event.
Yes.
And you have such a great following in that niche. In that niche, exactly, because you saw the opportunity to be able to service those individuals.
Absolutely.
And that's the other thing. You have to know who your people are.
Right, and you also have to be able to adapt quickly to what changes.
Right, because that's not the only thing you have, and we're going to show some of your fashions too.
No, and that wasn't like intentionally either.
Right,
it was just like, you have to be able to like
Yeah.
just go with the flow,
Right.
and then realize, okay, this is working. And but you have to know. If you don't know, and if you don't pay attention to every detail of it,
Right.
it could be just changing the position of where a top is sitting on the floor
Wow.
can make a difference, or to what you have on your window. So
Right.
it really is.
Yeah. And
tedious.
you have that experience.
Yes.
Let me ask you this: what is the importance of a mentor? Because you had on one of on Facebook, you're a mentor of
Yes.
yours. What is the importance of having a mentor?
Oh wow, it's somebody you could have honest conversation about, and that is
Judgment free.
Exactly, know exactly what's happening.
Right.
You've got to get one. You've got to get a mentor. A couple of them. I have a couple of mentors for different
things, right?
things,
Yeah.
because now I have to be a marketing director. I have to be this and I have to be that. So if you don't know, if you don't have mentors to sort of like quickly pick up the phone. In other words, a mentor is like somebody that, essentially trying to work for you without working for you.
Right.
Because or else you would have
to pay for all of that.
And
Right.
pick up a phone and
Exactly.
have
That's
and
true.
ask a question.
That's right.
So
That's
who wants
right.
to do that?
And be billed hourly.
Yeah, exactly.
And a mentor is, I've often listened to like how people get mentors in business, well, whatever it is, and I think sometimes it's organic.
Yes.
They see something in you and they just want to help.
Yes.
Yes. So it is important.
Yeah,
to,
that mentor, she was in the store now the other day again.
Okay.
It's like genuinely want to see me win.
Yeah,
and it's like every time she comes in, I'm like, she always surprises me.
Yeah.
And it's always true, pure, organic, and
Isn't
that's what you
that's
need.
Awesome.
And
you
the good thing is usually when people get to where they want to be, they want to see people win.
Yeah.
That is why, your mentor, if your mentor is winning, they're going to pull you to win, to make sure that you're winning as well.
Exactly.
So.
And another thing that I was interested in is having a business is very difficult, and it's like you said, you're going to run into some some issues. But how do you develop a good team that buys into your vision?
Well, you have to lead by example, and you have to. People will see through you. Always. They will see through you. So you pretty much, you can't really force somebody to buy into it. They got to see you in action.
Right.
And remember, that has to, from my husband to my dad to my family, to leaving this, this job, and then now working for myself.
Right.
When, I remember in the beginning, my husband said to me, listen, if there's going to be one person that's going to make it, it's going to be you. Because he never knew I could work as hard as I have,
You
been
fooled
working.
him.
Yes, I did. Because I have too much sweat equity involved. So, it's
That's
not even
right.
about the money anymore.
No,
it's about
no.
the sweat equity.
Yeah.
So you just
It's like a
kinda make
baby. Right?
Well, worse than a baby.
Worse than a baby.
Because the baby take a nap, when they're sleeping, you feel
Right.
relieved because I have
Right.
2 girls. But this business, unless I'm sleeping, it's constantly on my mind.
And how do you, that's interesting, because how do you trust individuals to because you can't do it all the time. So you have to put trust in individuals that can support you.
Yes.
Yeah, and that to me is like, because nobody's going to love your baby
The
more
way
than
that
you
you
do.
You see, it's so funny because what I think about that is, if somebody see that you trust them,
Yeah.
you almost put a
Yeah.
burden on them to do the right thing because you trust them and they don't want to.
They don't wanna let you down,
They don't
I
want to
guess.
let you down.
Yeah.
So that has been my experience since I've opened 2 years ago. The people around me have been like, I could just think about them and start crying.
Right, yeah.
That's how
that's great.
tight we are.
Right,
So
exactly,
it's good.
exactly. So you have, what type of fashions do you have in your boutique? We have some pictures of those. Bobby, can you show just a couple? I think there's some pics in there of the outfits, but if you can explain, because you do have the modest stuff, but you also have some spring fashions, which were really, really cool. So just tell us a little bit about what's in the shop, in the boutique.
Well, currently, Easter and Passover is coming up, so we have a really wide selection of modest wear, which
Okay.
means things, pieces, dresses, skirts, or tops you would wear to like your place of worship,
Right.
Whether it's church, synagogue, or temple. So we have a good selection of that right now. We also have some amazing kimonos.
Oh
We
my God,
have
that's so cute.
dresses.
That is so cute.
We have like cute off the shoulder, cold shoulder tops. We We have shorts already. Yeah, we have so many great pieces. If you're going on vacation, this is the time to come in and snack those pieces. Look at those.
Yeah. I love that dress. I love that dress.
And of course,
so
what you're wearing is in store.
That's right. Yay!
And then what I'm wearing, obviously, a white top. So we have a mix of bold statement pieces,
You
as
do.
we both are wearing.
Exactly,
And then some really
exactly.
settled pieces,
Right.
as most people that don't want to be as bold as we are.
But, yeah. And okay, so I went to Sejean's shop, and I was picking out some outfits, and Sejean was at I think you were getting some accessories or something like that. So I went in the shop and I'm looking around, and one of someone that that works for you was there, and we were having a good old time. Customer service is exceptional. It really is exceptional. So I'm in there and I'm picking things that I like, right? So I'm picking things I like, and when Sejean comes in, she's like, oh no. You will not be wearing that. So you style people. Like, what works on individuals' bodies. So what's the reward? Like, how rewarding is that for you?
It's people are usually very surprised.
I would have never picked this.
Because
ever.
what happens is, unfortunately, most people don't know their body type.
Right. When we talked, I told you I got a little stomach, and she's like, you're okay. You had this whole different picture of my body type.
Yeah, because you describe yourself as more like an apple shape, and you're not.
Right.
That's what I thought. Like you made it. That's what I thought. So when
funny.
people don't know their body shape,
Right.
and they usually you'll see them in the fitting room with like 10, not in my store, but like a bunch of dresses, and they come out with nothing. You know why? Because every silhouette they chose for their body type is the wrong one. So therefore, they're not going to look good in them.
Right.
So by knowing what body type you are and knowing what kinds of things you should be wearing, then it's just easier, and people are like, oh.
It's easy for you. You have that eye and you have that gift to be able to look at someone and say, oh, this is going to be perfect for you.
Thank you.
I can't do that. I can put outfits together, but I'm not a bold. I didn't think I was until I started wearing your outfits. But I really appreciate that. So let people know where you are located.
Yes.
We do have some contact information, where you're located, when your events that you have upcoming. You can talk about that.
Okay, so we have this gorgeous boutique located at 235 Nassau Boulevard in West Hempstead. So you could pretty much Google, or even Siri would take you there. Isn't that cool? If you tell Siri, take me to Sage and Angie Boutique, she'll definitely take you there. And our hours, we close on Monday, but Mondays, that's the only days. And then on Sundays, we are 12 to 4. So we are obviously on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the best places to, if you like us or follow us, you'll get to know all of the great events that we have, because we have at least one excellent event a month.
Okay.
Last event we had the Mostly Modest event, and it created so much buzz in the community that it was on a newspaper.
Right, I saw that. Yes, I saw that. Yes,
it was on a newspaper, so we decided to do it again.
Another one.
Yep, it's coming up on the 7th, this Sunday, from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. So if you're looking for whether you're looking for modest, that's why it's called Mostly Modest.
Mostly Modest.
So you don't have to be modest to come and shop, because obviously we do have lots of cute pieces that are not modest as well. So if you are around this Sunday, please join us.
So I want to thank you so much for being a guest on Conversations with Verdel Jones.
Oh, you made it so easy. Oh my God.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to have both our guests in studio.
Yay.
Welcome back to Conversations with Verdel Jones. We are here with these beautiful, beautiful women. They give so much of themselves to others to make them beautiful, to support them with their families and their children. And, you know, the topic of today's show is taking care of you and self-care. So I'm going to ask you ladies, how do you practice self-care? How do you you give so much? How do you take care of yourselves?
I would say calendar. No. I think genuinely when you look good, you feel good.
Right.
That's just the bottom line. So when you wake up in the morning, even if even if your day doesn't look like as promising as you wish that it would, you put something that you like and that you feel good in, and that starts your day feeling good already. And that's all you need. It's all about what you feel.
How you feel inside, right? How you, the outside sometimes can help trigger what the inside feels.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
and that's so
Exactly.
true. One of the things I do for myself, every morning I wake up, I am grateful.
Yeah.
You know, anything I do, I put hashtag grateful. And my husband always say, you know, you love yourself too much. Because I tell the woman that I work with, you need to get up in the morning, the day that you stand up in front of a mirror, whether with clothes or without, and look at every part of your body and say, I love myself. You know, it's so important. And then I started realizing taking time off, like my husband and I go to the movies, or even that, because we've been married for like 32 years, so we're always together.
Right.
So it's like so amazing. We work together, we live together, we do things together. But for me, I find my own private time in prayer and meditation as well, because I'm always so grateful in the morning for my day. And when I wake up every morning, because I'm grateful that I'm alive, I see the good. I see, you know, my husband always said to me, are you in a Pollyanna world? No, I'm not.
Right.
This is the world I need to see. There's so much going on in your life that you need to take that time to be grateful.
Right.
And when you're in that state of gratefulness, I find your day goes well. Well, as you're walking down the street and something goes wrong, you know what? I'm grateful for this morning.
Right, absolutely.
And you keep. So that's one thing I do for myself to get me back into that routine. And what you were saying, my son always told me when he was younger, Mommy, you always dressed up. I said, listen, let me tell you why. The reason the one day I decided to go outside without makeup or without looking nice, that's when about 5 of your friends will say, your mother was walking down. Yes, what's up with Mommy? So it's so important. My kids see that in me, that I always take care of me. I tell them right now I have my grandkids. I say, you know what? I'm a glam mama.
A glam mama.
Because I need to take care of me first.
Absolutely.
How do you manage, like, especially we were talking about retail and it's involved, you know, it's a lot of long hours. How do you balance your work family life?
For me, you do have to put them on the schedule, on your calendar.
Okay.
You've gotta.
Okay.
If you don't, they just like anything else that's not on your calendar, it's not gonna get done. Like for me today, I knew I was going not to see them probably by the time I get home. So I made it a point to pick them up from school and then make you know, lunch for them and then spend that little time with them because I could always see the hubby later. You know?
Exactly.
And you know, date night, if you know, have a partner or whatever, is so important because with the kids or without the kids, because you know, you get to connect. And you have to do it, just like everything else. I mean, this week, I realized that yesterday, I have 7 days straight where every night I have something going on. But I know last night I went to this awesome event.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. National Action Network, right?
I met so many great celebrities, but I made it a point to take my husband with me.
Right.
So that was our time. And then Saturday, he doesn't know it yet, but Saturday he's gonna be my date to go to an event that I'm going to go. So and then Sunday my kid's gonna probably work with me. So it depends on what's going on, and I make it. If I don't do it in the morning, I know my schedule ahead, so I'll make a point to spend some quality time with them, you know, either in the morning, lunchtime, or dinner time.
You know what? You put them on your calendar. That's interesting because I've heard people say that before. But the way that you described it and laid it out, it does make sense.
Yeah,
because you get so caught up in your day to day or what's going on, and you really sometimes you neglect your family.
Of course.
You know?
You do, but for
course.
me, it's different because my kids are all grown
They're
up
grown,
now.
good
right?
for you.
Exactly.
My daughter, my
Exactly.
daughter is 26. She's married and have 2 kids, and my son is married and have 2 kids. So my kids have a problem with me because they don't think I spend enough time with the grandkids.
Wow.
And
yeah.
I said, Grandma has a life.
Yeah.
You know, so with my husband and I, we try to do date nights on a Tuesday night when we can. You know, he loves the movies. I will go sometime and just be there. I fall asleep in the movies, but just to be there. So, which
always
is
falling
fine. You know, so we will plan a movie night, and I love to cook. I love to entertain. So I will make amazing meals. We make sure we have breakfast together in the
nice.
mornings.
See, that's-
so
that's
we
nice.
always
I like
doing
that.
things that he works with me. He's there with me,
Right.
and people say,
Yeah.
but how come?
Lucky.
You know what? I love him being there, and we enjoy each other's company.
Right.
Because if you can't enjoy the company of your husband, how can you enjoy someone else?
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
So that's so good. Date nights are so important.
Very.
And date nights don't mean
people
to sit
think
and go
it's
out.
something
Right.
that is like really. Sometimes he's like,
Expensive.
"Oh, you want to go out?" I'm like, I get excited, and then. You know, he's like, "Oh, we going to the gym." I'm like, "Oh, all right. Let me just pretend this is like the alpha tower. Like,
You
let me
want
just
a
pretend-
date night.
Yeah, let me just pretend this is an actual date night because if our schedule don't
really.
permit,
Right.
if he's going to the gym, I'll hop on.
You'll go- right, exactly.
Well, I'll just get dragged on.
You'll get dragged up, right? But it is
To
about
go.
spending that time together.
But at least on our drive there, we
Yes.
we get to spend some time.
Exactly,
On our way back,
exactly.
we usually get a treadmill next to each
Right,
other.
yeah,
Even if it's
exactly.
like once a week, every little bit counts.
It does. It really does. So
It does.
one of the things that we were sharing, before we got on camera, I was saying that I had to have a family meeting. So I have 2 grown children. Maya, 22, she's over there, and Marcus, my son, is 26. And so we had a meeting, me and my husband with the kids, and I told them I'm the type of person who does. I go all the time and I do everything. Everybody looks to me to plan, to set something up, to, whatever it might be. And I told them I can't do it anymore. I
Good for
cannot
you.
do it.
Good for you.
They don't believe me, but I was so I was sincere about it. And I told them, if you see me doing things that I said I wasn't going to do, please stop me, because I have a problem.
But that's good because you know what? Sometimes we have to do boundaries and we have to set
Right.
goals for ourselves and for
Right.
our families because sometimes, as women, we are always the superwoman.
Superwoman.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
superwoman, that kryptonite it
That's
falls
right,
apart
yeah,
and you get
it's-
weak.
you
So you have to
exactly,
build yourself.
yeah.
You have to love you. You have to take that time. Even my husband and I go to the gym. We go to the gym every morning because we have a routine now. Because my grandson, he picks him up in the morning, drops him to his daycare. So between 6, 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, we go to the gym together. And it's so funny. Sometimes he's in a separate part of the gym.
Right.
And I like because I'm on the bike. I love to sweat on the bicycle. So he's doing something else. But we know we are there in spirit because we are there
Right,
together.
Yeah.
Together.
So, but we have that time together to do that. But ultimately, I love doing me. I can go to any place and sit by myself, remove the utensils in the
Yeah,
restaurant,
right.
and sit by myself
Me
and
too.
do it. I can go to a movie by myself. I can
yeah,
do it. We have to.
Yes, that's great. I wish I could do that. I am I went on vacation one time without my kids.
Right.
And it was my husband's fault. He surprised me a trip to Paris for Valentine's Day.
That was his fault.
Yes, it was he's probably watching.
probably-
But it was one of the worst times that I had because I left my kids behind. I felt guilty, like for me.
Girl, you need to hang out with us.
Yes. I felt so, but they were little ones,
doesn't
like
matter.
2.
It doesn't matter.
Oh my God! I feel like what if this is how dare I take time when I work so much?
You
like
do.
If I stayed at
Right.
home, maybe I would be like, oh, I need some me time. But because I feel like my schedule is so
Now,
demanding.
do you feel bad for them, or do you feel bad for not being there?
No, they were like I had a kid. I had it was all planned out.
Right.
From their food to what they were gonna snack on
Right.
to their outfits the whole time. I had my mother. I
Right.
had my sister in the
So they
same
had a good
house,
time.
and their best little cousin there. Everybody. They had a phenomenal
Right,
time.
and you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I used to beat myself up about being, that mom. I'm not there enough for them. I'm not there. But then I realized my kids love me no matter what. They think I am an awesome mom, no matter what, because they know I care about them. They know I take care of them. They know, and I had to let that go.
It's all in my mind.
I know.
Yeah,
It's all in my mind. Like even
I
like
think it's mindset. You have to change
it's
your
all in my mind. Even like
Yeah.
sleep, even with sleepovers, we don't do sleep. Like
No,
I
yeah.
just feel like it's not even so much of safety. Well, that's number one.
right.
But I just feel like if something happened in the middle of the night, I don't want to get a call. You somewhere, like.
Right.
I want to be right there.
But that's okay
why.
being a new mom and the kids are young. No, it's okay.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
young.
that's fine. That's still very young.
They're young.
It's
They're
okay,
young.
but even within that space of time, when I teach my parents, even just go to the bathroom and lock yourself up, get a journal and
Right.
write something or think of a positive
And
thought
a glass
or
of
tune
wine.
or a glass of wine is fine too. Make the bubble bath. You don't have to use the real candles. Get the flavorless candles. Do these things for yourself. It's
Right.
so important because
is.
when you start doing these things, your skin is glowing. You feel amazing.
Yeah.
And I love I love to be in a place that when I feel good, I want others to feel good because we are
Right.
energy spirits. We are people that brings out joy. When there's some of us are like that.
Right.
And when we're able to make people feel good, look good, and know that they appreciate it,
Right.
that's amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing. So, and you two women do that. And I want to
thank
thank you
you.
so much for being here. We have your contact information there that I want to make sure that we show again. Sage and Angie Boutique, located in West Hempstead. Make sure you check that out if you're in the area. You will not be disappointed. And we also have Lucina.
Yes.
Lucina. I'm sorry,
Lucina Clark.
Lucy, I couldn't read that. Lucina Clark from My Time Inc. You work with parents who have children with autism.
Yes, I love it.
And you're a blessing in their lives.
Thank
so I want to
you.
thank you. And I want to thank both of my guests for being here.
Oh,
you guys
this
were
was such
awesome.
a pleasure.
You awesome.
You too.
And thank you.
Thank you so much.
So
We had fun.
So I want to
Yeah.
thank everybody for watching Conversations with Verdel Jones, and make sure you join us next time. We'll see you later.